programs like CHIP, which is the Children's Health Insurance Program, and MIECHV, which is the Maternal Infant Early Childhood Home Visiting Program. With those programs not renewed within Congress, what is your plan to advocate on behalf of our children's health?
To run for Congress and get elected and reestablish those programs. You know, that's the hope, right? I mean, that's the hope. Hey, it's absurd, you know, that we're shooting ourselves in the foot with this stuff over and over and over again. And we are, again, this is an area in which you can look at the congressman that is in office right now, and there's such a drastic departure from people like him, and a lot of these folks are in office all over the country. Somebody that has just come into the district and purchased it outright. They had enough money to get a seat at the table, and so they bought that seat at the table, and now he's a congressman. And lo and behold, he does not care about people that are low income, including low-income children, including low-income moms, including single moms, including the people that are experiencing real problems right here in the 9th District. This is fundamentally, and I know this is getting away from the question, but this is fundamentally an issue of campaign finance reform. And I think it's drastically important that we elect people that are committed to long-term campaign finance reform, or else you're never going to get anybody elected that actually cares about real problems. It is rare now to see politicians run for any sort of larger elected office. And one of these offices that's going to cost, I mean, this race is probably going to cost us about $10 million by the time all is said and done, at least. And to have that kind of firepower, to raise that kind of money, it's really difficult to find candidates for any of these seats that actually know real problems, care about real problems affecting poor children or poor mothers. So it's like very many problems in this country. It all goes back to campaign finance reform. And I'm steadfastly committed to that. Thank you.
Money. We just got to have money to fund these programs. We got to win. Part of me, I just can't believe that we're actually discussing things like this. And we got to actually talk about feeding children and making sure that the basic sustainable needs of our citizens are taken care of. Definitely people that fall through the gaps, that's where the government comes in and picks us up. One of the things that I want to get across about our government is that our government doesn't create our success, okay? We are successful, and our government reflects that back on us. And we have, these are values issues. What are we going to spend our money on? We're going to spend it on people and the programs that we need, or we're going to spend it on the ability for people to make more money and hoard that money from us. So it's really a values issue. Once again, we have to win. We have to win, and in order to win, we have to understand the conditions for winning. And I really don't think that we've gotten that message yet. So.
When our kids go to school hungry, they can't learn. It's really that simple. We are the richest nation on earth. There is no excuse for any child or any adult going hungry in this country. No excuse. It is a fundamental failure in leadership that that's what we're confronting today. And I am somebody who wants to step up and lead and do things very differently. I started out my career working with low-income moms and kids on trying to preserve their access to food stamps when it was being shut off because they couldn't go out to some sweep the streets work program, because they had to be home caring for their kids, trying to preserve their access to cash assistance and food stamps. And we're not talking money to go buy a steak, we're talking money to go buy a loaf of bread. And that is so important. I've seen the difference that it made in moms and children's lives. And it is something that I am 500% committed to fighting for. And when you think about the fact that we have a Congress that doesn't understand the importance of that, that would rather fight for special interests than for moms and their children. That is so very wrong. It's why I committed in the last debate that we had that I would never, ever, ever take money from Big Pharma. Because when you think about what's gone on with the healthcare crisis in this country and the fact that we can't even negotiate prescription drug prices, Big Pharma is behind that. And if we're going to get serious about doing things differently, we're going to have to start answering to voters instead of answering to giant corporations and special interests.